All right, I'll call to order the regular session of Chisholm City Council for January 26, 2022. Good evening, everyone. Margaret, could you take a roll call, please?
Councillor Halverson.
Present.
Councillor Michalaraha.
Present.
Councillor Fountain.
Here.
Councillor Lance.
Here.
Councillor Vaki.
Here.
Mayor Champa.
Here. Adopt the agenda. Council, we had a couple items, nothing big come in here at the last minute. Councillor Fountain had sent out a memo, or Margaret had sent it out on her behalf, requesting a meeting to discuss a consulting firm. And Councillor Vaki earlier today, I think he realized that the slide to city is only 15 days away and about 3 days after the next council meeting, and was hoping we could get that on to declare it at citywide festival. So I'll leave it up to the council, but I'd entertain a motion to adopt the agenda with the two items. Or
I'll make that motion.
thank you, Adam. Second for that.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Further discussion? I just noted the item, April's item and Travis' item to in that order after Stephanie, between G and H, we'll plunk them in there, G1, G2 or something. Margaret can fix it on the next on when we write it up. So Margaret, take vote, please.
Councillor Halverson.
Aye.
Councillor Michalaraha.
Aye.
Councillor Fountain.
Aye.
Councillor Lance.
Aye.
Councillor Vaki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, the agenda is adopted. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Stephanie, nobody on public participation tonight that chimed in late?
Oh, there's not, Mayor.
Thank you. All right, we'll move right on to our reports. I'll just take them in the order I wrote you folks on, my council. And in order you chimed in. So we'll start with Cheyenne tonight. Good evening, Cheyenne. Report tonight.
Good evening. No formal report tonight.
Thank you. Adam, report tonight. Good evening.
Evening, everybody. No formal report. Thank you.
Thank you. April, report tonight. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. I do not have a formal report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, April. Marty, good evening. Report tonight.
Good evening. Very short report. I attended a public safety building meeting on Monday with yourself, Mr. Mayor, and Stephanie, Eileen, and Vern, Chris, Masuski, Jason, and Jess and Adam had to leave early. But I had a good meeting with Wendell 5 Bugles on the public safety building. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Marty, just to follow up on that report, we agreed they're going to come to a council meeting a couple meetings from now, aren't they? Is that what we agreed that day? Give us just an update. Does that ring a bell with you?
Yeah, I believe that was the goal, was to give us at least a Zoom update on where they're at. I think that was agreed upon. Yes.
All right. Catch everybody up with the committee. Okay, good. I don't have anything tonight. I missed my public utilities meetings. So Larry, if you can help me with that when you get to your reports, that'd be great. That's all I have. So with that, let's move on to our staff reports. Department heads, I should say.
More, Mr. Mayor.
What's that?
Councillor Vaki.
Oh, I missed him. He came in so late, I didn't know he was here. Good evening, Travis. You got a report tonight?
Good evening. I do have a couple things, as you can see behind me. Sled to City is coming to Chisholm again, so we are excited to formally announce that. And the poster just went out today. It is Saturday, February 12th. Larry and I have been in discussions about it, and so we're on pace and on progress to make that happen again. So we're excited about that. And thank you for allowing us to get that addition to the agenda tonight. The other thing that I have is from the Kiwanis Club. And the Kiwanis Club is looking to do a project, a legacy project that they have been working on as part of their 100-year anniversary. And that project is a splash pad right here in Chisholm. And so I'm providing you with just a little bit of background information on it tonight. And the simple fact that they are going after a grant, which starts February 1st. It is a grant where we ask the community to go and vote for Chisholm to be the grant recipient. It's based on voting. So when the link comes out, we are going to request that everybody and everyone from Chisholm go and vote for the grant to be given to Chisholm. It is a $50,000 grant to be used toward a water project, believe it or not. And so ours qualifies as a splash pad. So that is coming. They have been in communication with Larry and Denise, and they will be visiting the Public Utilities Commission in February, and then they will be doing a presentation to the council on the second meeting in February, where they will lay out the plans and specs of the splash pad and talk to you guys a little more in depth than what I am doing tonight. So I just wanted to give you some background on that, let you know that that is starting to progress, and they are going after that $50,000 grant as among other grants. But I told them that I would start the discussion, let you guys make you aware of it. I do have some information that I will email to Margaret to send out to everybody so they can get a little better look at what is being proposed. But yeah, those are the two things I had. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Travis. Travis, just a couple of questions. Not that it really matters. You mentioned a splash pad. You mentioned coming to the February PUC meeting, second council meeting in February. Not that it matters. I'm going to miss the PUC, and we're both going to miss that council meeting. I don't know if it really matters with that. And then with regard to Sled to City, I think about this every year, and then by the next year I forget about it. But you know those darn the blow up inner tube looking things, the big ones everybody uses, and they go so good. I think we should try to, if this continues, we should try to see if a person can raise some money to buy a bunch of them to let the kids use. It is like the best thing for going down that slide, you know. So I keep thinking I watch it every year and see how good those go and how little damage they do and how they, you know, and it really kind of packs down the trail really nice too, because they're so big and they really slide nice. And I keep forgetting we should look into if we can buy a bunch of them. So that's it. Two great events.
Yeah. And they're aware that we won't be at the second meeting, but because of the timeline, they want to get it, they want to present it to the council, just so that they can, you know, have a full go of advertising it, asking people to vote and things of that nature. So being proactive, I guess.
Perfect. All right, council, we'll move on to our department head reports. Jess is out tonight, so we'll move on to our fire chief. Good evening, Chris. Report tonight.
Yeah, good evening, Mayor, Council. Just a couple quick things. We did get our skid unit for our brush truck. That is in, thanks to Larry. All we gotta do is hook up some power and get some of that done, and that'll be ready to be put in service. And we ordered tracks for our side-by-side, so those will be in hopefully in a couple of weeks. That'll definitely help for our wintertime emergencies. We getting calls on the snowmobile trail, the lake, or redhead, or what have you. So, yeah, that's all I got for the fire department.
Thank you, Chris. Council, anything for our fire chief? All right, police chief. Good evening, Vern. Report tonight.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Just a quick, I guess maybe informational, something I'll be coming to you. In the package, you'll see that we have a temporary liquor license for the Serbian church. And this is normal. We do these a couple times a year. Sometimes none. They're few and far between. But one of the things that came up while that one was coming up was what the fee was for it. And as we went back, just the information, back in 2019, 2020, Administrator Manny and Attorney Lindsay and I sat down and went through all the fees, most of the fees that I deal with, liquor licenses, tobacco licenses, gaming. And we had adjusted some of those fees. Well, when this came up, we went back in there and we really can't find a fee for what the temporary liquor license would be. So I was going to bring forward a suggestion to the council. And Attorney Lindsay, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's by just resolution that those fees can be established and changed. And that's the question I have for him. But in this last week's meetings, we found out that there's fees that need to be established for EMS, for public works, things with the redhead, the movie theater or the movie business coming to town. The meeting with them, they said you want to get some fees set for some of those things. And maybe that'll be, some of that stuff will be fluid and have to change over the next year or two, but and adjusted. But I think it's just by resolution. So I'm assuming the department heads are going to get together real soon to go over what those fees should be so we can do it all at one time with the council and bring you a list of fees that could be needed in the near future.
Thank you, Vern. Council, anything for Vern? Chief, just a quick, I'm sure you know I don't follow social media at all. It sounds like we have a lot of across from each other parking on the south side of town, middle of the night. I know your officers try to hit the town every night as best they can. Maybe consider changing the direction they go or something to hit some of them later in the night. That's all. I know you guys try to give everybody a ticket on the wrong side, but depends on when you go by. It has a lot to do with that.
And Mr. Mayor, the other thing that people forget that our ticket system was down for the last couple of weeks, and we'd been writing warnings and stuff. We weren't able to ticket, and it's amazing how people must think that we just decided to stop enforcing it, which we weren't enforcing because we didn't have tickets. But now that we're back in the swing of things will be on a more consistent level. So basis.
Thank you, Chief. All right, we'll move on. Building official, Mandy, report tonight. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I don't have a formal report other than what is on the agenda tonight. We have the second reading for the short-term rentals, a resolution for that, and then some bids we need to approve.
Thank you, Mandy. Council, anything for Mandy? All right, we'll move on. Jim Johnson.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. I have no formal report other than what I have on the council agenda later. And you missed the PUC meeting, but there was not a quorum, so you did not miss the PUC meeting.
Oh, now I really feel bad.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Council, anything for Jim while he's on with us?
Hey, Jim, quick question for you. Can you just give me an update on where we are with the Mailman overlay?
Yes, I just received the feasibility study and I've got that actually on the agenda for your February 9th meeting to accept the feasibility report and set the public hearing for it.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Rec Director Tammy, report tonight. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor. Just a short report. The summer rec director positions are open until February 11th at 4 p.m. So if you're interested for those two positions that we have, come and apply.
Thank you, Tammy. Council, anything for Tammy while she's on with us? All right, we'll move on.
I think you missed Larry.
Man, I'm having a rough day, today.
It's okay, man.
Thank you, Tammy. We'll go back to Larry. All right, I got 2 misses today.
Just a short report. Good evening. Working through the hiring process. I'm happy to present to you tonight in the council packet. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. And I'm sure you're equally as excited about the break in the snow besides the cold weather, but you know, might as well be winter and we'll fight through it together. With that, just getting going on beginning year stuff. I'm excited to hear about the public safety building moving forward and stuff like that. So anyway, that's, I don't have a lot. PUC meeting was postponed. So, yeah, anything from you?
Don't say anything for Larry. Larry, I just have a little follow-up of our earlier discussion about the snow cleanup. First of all, the school thanks you for doing that intersection on, what is it, 3rd Street and 3rd Avenue there, where everybody drops their kids off. You get them high banks and you got to drop the kids off on the street. It's pretty dangerous. So, you know, and that came from a call from a school board member. So they certainly appreciate that. She gave me feedback. Do you do you know where all the bus stops are so you can look at some of those areas?
Yeah, we got a map and then we try to hit those when we hit the fire hydrants.
Okay.
So most of them should be opened up already. Most of the hydrants are opened up and the water department kind of takes care of that when they go around. So we're hauling snow and pushing back dumps and cleaning up arena parking lot and stuff in the water department. The backhoe helps us out there. So
sounds good. I always get scared when I'm driving by them bus stops and them kids are up on top of the pile. Don't you? You can't go slow enough. If one of them slides off, it's pretty scary.
I know, and they don't care. They're just having fun. So.
All right. Thank you, Larry. Library. Katie, good evening. Report tonight?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Just a reminder that our winter reading program starts February 1st. It's open to all ages and it'll run all the way through the end of February. That's it for tonight.
Thank you, Katie. Council, anything for Katie? All right, City Attorney, good evening, Brian. Report tonight?
Thank you, Mayor. No formal report. I apologize for not having video tonight. I'm struggling with some bandwidth issues. The one thing I can mention, and I can speak to Chief Manner's question earlier, the city does have in place the proper appropriate ordinances where we can, for most of our fee schedule, adjust it by resolution. There may be some that may require ordinances. We can talk after the meeting or in the next couple of days about those. But other than that, I field questions from the council.
Council, anything for our attorney? Thank you, Brian. Clerk Treasurer Eileen, good evening. Report tonight?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. No official report. I just wanted to quickly share how happy I am with Misty in the accountant position. Everything's looking pretty rosy with her added to our team. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. Council, anything for Eileen? I thought it was kind of neat to see the bills come from Misty today. So that was different. All right, we'll move on. Administrator Stephanie, good evening. Report tonight.
Good evening, Mayor, and council members. Just a quick report on the Redhead side. We'll be having a, it's called the Polar Bear Pedal Ride during Polar Bear Days. It's going to be February 26th, starting out at the trailhead at noon, and then after at 3 o'clock at Tom and Jerry's. There'll be prizes and music. There'll be more to come on our social media platforms with that event. And that's, like I said, surrounded around Polar Bear Days also. That's all I have.
Council, anything for Stephanie? Steph, I just got, we talk about 900 times a day, but there's always a couple of things I forget to ask you. And as long as I'm thinking about it. So we have 2 retirements coming up next year, May, June area. And when do we think we should start? Any thoughts on when we better start talking about those positions? Because they're both pretty important. Well, all positions are important, but those 2 are unique.
Yes, I've been working on the job descriptions. I'm hoping to have them to council in February.
Good. All righty, that's all I got. Anything for Stephanie, council? All right, we'll move on. Thank you, department heads. All right, moving on to consent agenda. This is your list of bills, communications, which are the airport authority minutes. Minutes of the previous city council meetings, the amended December 20th, 2021 special meeting, the January 4th, 2022 reorganizational meeting, the January 11th, 2022 joint meeting with the town of Balkan, the January 12th, 2022 regular meeting, payroll and overtime. Can I get a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Motion.
Thank you, Travis. Second for that.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Further discussion, council? Corrections? Margaret?
Counselor Halverson.
Aye.
Counselor Mikala Raha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Vaki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, the consent agenda is approved. We'll move on to new business. We'll start with Vern, temporary liquor license for the Serbian church. Vern?
Yep, Mr. Mayor, just looking for a motion, the council to approve a temporary liquor license for the 30th of this month. They have a wedding at the Serbian church.
Council looking for a motion to approve that temporary liquor license.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor, for St. Basil Orthodox Church. Thank you.
Thank you, April. Second for that. Thank you, Adam. Further discussion, council? Target?
Counselor Halverson.
Aye.
Counselor Mikala Raha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Vaki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Gambling application for Chisholm Curling Club, Bird?
Yep, and for their, just looking for a motion to approve their gambling application. It's their annual big raffle to be held April 8th.
Council looking for a motion to approve that gambling application for the annual raffle for the curling club.
Motion, Marty.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Adam. Further discussion, council? Margaret?
Counselor Halverson.
Aye.
Counselor Mikala Raha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Vaki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Vern. We'll move on to Mandy's items. Second reading, third series city ordinance, Title 15, Land Usage, Chapter 153 of the City Code entitled Land Usage, add section number 153.291 to impose a moratorium on new short-term rentals pending completion of the study. Council, this is the second reading, so it's a vote up or vote down. Mandy, anything you want to share on that other than what I already said?
Just that I've been working on the planning study and the new ordinance for the short-term rentals. I do have a draft working document that I plan on presenting to the Planning Commission on February 7th. And I will be getting that agenda out to them late this week.
Beautiful. That seems like it's moving along good. So council, we're looking for a motion to, for the second reading, to accept that second reading, which essentially would put a moratorium on short-term rentals, temporary short-term rental, or temporary moratorium.
Make that motion.
Thank you, Adam. Second for that.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Council, further discussions? Margaret?
Counselor Halverson,
No.
Counselor Michalaraha,
Aye.
Counselor Fountain,
Aye.
Counselor Lance,
Aye.
Counselor Vaki,
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that motion carries. Okay, it looks like the second part of this resolution number 0122-21 authorized the city of Chisholm to adopt interim ordinance for moratorium on short-term rentals. So this is actually to adopt what we just did above. Mandy, anything you want to add there?
No, thank you, Mayor.
I'm just looking for a motion to adopt resolution 0122-21, which actually puts into effect. Yes, Marty, go ahead.
There's a significant omission in this document, and that is the 18-month expiration period. I would respectfully request that that be added to the document.
Marty, is that on the resolution itself?
It was in the first reading and second reading document. It is not in this ordinance. And if you're going to adopt this ordinance, you need to put that 18-month expiration clause in there. It's in the reading.
We can add that to the resolution, Mayor.
Well, hold on a minute. So, Marty, is that what you're asking? Because we're already past the second reading. Is that where it's missing, or is it missing in the resolution?
Missing on page 29, the item that we're supposed to vote on right now.
Oh, okay. Is that just an oversight, Mandy, or what? Because I do remember the discussion about that last meeting.
Yeah, it's just not included on the resolution. That part of the ordinance isn't, and we can include that. Marty, would you want that under the 5th whereas?
Well, it should be in there somewhere. It's to be consistent with the first reading and second reading. Everything else seems to be there, but the 18-month expiration date is not in the ordinance.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may?
Go ahead, Brian.
The resolution is to adopt the ordinance that was approved in the first and second reading. So the actual language that we're approving, that the vote is being held on, is the text of the language that was approved in the first and second reading. The resolution just presents a summary, but the actual controlling language would be the ordinance language.
So you believe the 18 months is included then, Brian?
It would have to be included because that was the language that was approved in the first and second readings.
It just looks like it's not included in the resolution, and we can definitely include that into the 5th summary.
I'll make a motion to approve that resolution with the addition of the 18-month expiration.
Thank you, Adam. Is there a second for that?
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Further discussion, council? Margaret?
Counselor Halverson,
No.
Counselor Michalaraha,
Aye.
Counselor Fountain,
Aye.
Counselor Lance,
Aye.
Counselor Vaki,
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that motion carries. Your last item, Andy, approve range cornice from Masaba glass window and door bids.
Yes, Mayor, we have been working on repairing some of the items in the back of City Hall. We definitely have a roof issue. The roof leaks in spring and the drainage. We have some drainage issues as well on the roof. So I did secure a bid from Range Cornice. This bid is quite, it's quite old, but they are willing to honor the bid and move along with the project. The other bid is a bid that Larry had received from the Sabi Window and Glass for 2 door replacements. We're just looking for approval to move forward on getting that space back to being habitable.
Mr. Mayor, I got a couple questions for Mandy.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Okay.
April.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mandy, did we only get one bid for each of these, or did we get several bids from other companies?
No, for these, we got one bid. Range Cornice actually had been the person that we were calling to repair the roof. So at the last repair, we actually had them submit a bid for, they know what needs to be done to fix the problem.
I'm sorry. And then Masabi Glass, did we get any more quotes for this?
I tried to get competitive quotes, but there was no one would have bid. April, nobody really does that same work here. And then I did reach out to Superior Glass. I seen them working at the First National Bank, and I asked them to have somebody stop by and bid, and they never did. So they must have plenty of work as well. I tried though. Yeah.
For you. So I went on that tube light. By all means, I'm not a contractor. I was trying to do my own research on these doors. $17,000 for 2 doors. I thought, well, geez, I'm going to go on that tube light website, because that was the name brand for the standard doors, and try to get all the specs that you have on here. It's looking like these doors, I'm wondering, there's modifications and substitutions for these standard door frames and these that I'm pretty sure you guys could put these in, and it's looking like they would probably charge $10,000 just for labor. And these doors were like $3,500 for a pair.
Yeah, these are not standard doors, April. They're commercial grade. I mean, these are not, the 2 doors that are spec, they're odd size, and the one faces the drive-through bank, which is a big double door.
Yep.
And the other one is like a 40-inch oversized door. And it's not at the skill level that we as a city employ a person, like Bruce, say the buildings person, there's no way we can do that work. That's specialty work.
So you said it was a 40, what did you say that second door was?
I believe it's a 40-inch door. One was like 10 and the other one was like 7. And that's an oversized door. It's bigger than a 36 wheelchair door. It seems somewhat bigger.
So you think this is a competitive quote?
I think I don't think it's out of line at all. I really don't. This is the same company that did all the doors at the arena. They did the campground. They did the public works garage. They did the refuse building. So I don't think it's out of line at all. If I did, I wouldn't pass it on.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yep.
Larry, these are the doors are in cement too, aren't they? Which makes it
metal frame and then into cement, and it's all sealed, of course, and that. And then these are all pre-wired for if we do go to a door swipe card system someday, so we can. I won't bore you with with all the details, but sometimes you need to lock a particular person or company out at a particular time, things like that. We have the ability to do that. And this is they are also pre-wired to work if we do build that public safety safety building, that the system that is that will be spec'd there will also control these doors as well. So they're pre-wired.
Thank you, Larry. Attorney Lindsay, do you have any concerns about this first bid with one bid at $79,282, as Councilor Fountain questioned?
Is this a situation where we attempted to reach out and just couldn't get additional bids? Because at 75,000, we should be 75,000 if it's construction or building improvement. We should be looking for more than one bid, and if we can't find more than one bid, we should be documenting that to the file just to preserve that information.
Mandy, so this is the only bid we got on this one?
This was the only bid and it was received back, what do I want to say? It was the third bid that just came back 3 times, I believe, from 2 years ago. So we can go out for rebids if that's what the council would like to do.
Council, let's take these up as 2 separate items. Let's go with the second one first. I think we should move ahead with the door replacement. When you're putting these odd-sized doors in concrete, that doesn't seem really lopsided to me. I think we got to get that one done. So I'd look for a motion to approve the Saba glass window and door for $17,892 to replace those 2 doors.
I'd be willing to note on the PO there, Mayor, that I did reach out to Superior Glass Indoor also for a quote and was denied. So,
yep.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Adam. Is there a second for that?
Second, Marty.
Thank you, Marty. Further discussion on that one item, Council?
Councilor Halverson.
Aye.
Councilor Michelaraha.
Aye.
Councilor Fountain.
Nay.
Councilor Lance.
Aye.
Councilor Baki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that motion carries. Council, I don't have a problem with the range cornice and roofing bid. However, I believe that we should ask for another bid from Range Corners, and we should have our building official reach out to a couple other organizations as part of this and bring this back to our next meeting. I believe we should do that.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
So the 2 bid issue, it's not a requirement if we can't get a second bid, or if we've asked and people have not bid. It's a best practice to have those 2 bids, and as a city, we're supposed to make a reasonable effort to get those 2. And so, I mean, theoretically, to move this along, the council could authorize approval for this work up to the amount of the bid we have, and then just have the building official or Larry or someone reach out to see if there's a second bid, and then we would have a not to exceed cost that we could expend.
Brian, the only problem with that I see is this bid is now public information because the newspaper has it. And that's not real fair to Range Cornice at this point. So if we're gonna ask somebody for a bid, then we should ask Range Cornice for another bid as well. That would be my opinion. If you had ask for another bid and up to this amount, well, if I was the next person in line, I would bid $100 less and have the bid, and it'd be really easy. So I don't think that's fair to do that. I think, we either accept it as it is, or we go out for bids again on this and we bring it back. I don't know how else we do this.
And it's a practical matter, Mayor, that point's well taken.
Travis,
question.
Go ahead,
Yeah, I had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I see
Mandy, was this a advertised bid or just one that you contacted?
Just one that I contacted. We were having problems with the roof. We have problems with the roof every spring. There's ice out there right now, and it will melt and then it will freeze again and it will melt. And Range Cornice is they're the company who we contact to fix the issue when it does happen. At that point, they provided us a bid to fix what would alleviate what they kept coming back for. It wasn't really a planned project to where we would go and advertise for bids. So that's where the bid came from.
Okay, yeah, I guess, Mr. Mayor, I would agree with you that we probably should go out for bids again.
Mayor, if I could just support Mandy for just a minute. These were repairs to fix known problems. If we're gonna go out for bid, we have to hire an engineer, and we gotta get apples, we actually have to have a bid spec, and then we put out for contractors and that. This was actually to repair known problems. We had the water coming down in electrical panels in the basement and all that such. So, and, just to help clarify. So if we are going to go out for bids, now we just don't put it out for bid. We actually have to specify what the work is, and have line items in that and reach out. So this was more repair than it was a complete roof restoration, say. Just wanted to clarify, Mayor.
Thanks, Larry.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes, Brian.
So the fact that this contract we expect to be between.
We're losing you, Brian.
Either by we think of as the sealed bid or the traditional bid process, or by direct negotiation by obtaining two quotes. So this could go out as opposed to kind of the traditional bid process. This could go out basically as a request for proposals. We could indicate to the contractors that we have this issue we'd like to resolve, and we'd ask them to make a proposal in order to resolve that issue. And we can do it that way by receiving two proposals.
Council, I'm going to recommend that we approve this Range Cornice and Roofing Company bid. The reason I'm going to recommend it is because we're going to be waiting until well into the spring to even get another bid. We can't do it in the middle of the winter. It's unfortunate. I don't know what else to do.
Mayor, can I just comment to and just the truth of the matter is due to supply issues, a new bid coming from even Range Cornice will be significantly higher right now.
Council, what do we want to do here? Marty, you got a thought there?
Yeah, first I have a question. On proposal in the memo, it's $79,282, but then Range Cornice said the drains are an additional $13,800. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so yeah, so the actual total is $92,000. Okay, and I think that's really key. Is there's obviously been drainage problems and drainage inadequacy, so we should be approving that as well. And I agree that time is of the essence, and spring is going to be here in no time. If we don't approve this and get them on board, it's going to be well into the summer and get delayed, and with workloads and work schedules, I think we need to strike now and do it while we have the proposal. And this isn't new construction. This is a repair, a necessary repair to avoid damage. I think we should go ahead and approve it with the $13,800 so they can start as soon as possible in the spring.
Is that a motion, Marty?
Yes, that is a motion. I make a motion to approve the $79,282 and $13,800 for them to start as soon as they can possibly get.
Second.
Thank you, April. It's just a question. Mandy, can you talk to those drains a little bit? What the thought was behind there?
I'm sorry, Mayor, what was the question?
I just, you know, the memo to us, you didn't really recommend the drains. As Marty had made the motion to do. What was the thought there?
The thought was we were gonna wait to do the drains later until we had budgeted more money for that, correct, staff? That was the thought.
Yep, that is correct. That the additional cost isn't budgeted. What was brought before council was budgeted for this year. So anything additional would go outside of what was currently budgeted.
Quick question, Mr. Mayor.
Good, April.
Would this go under capital improvements?
I think it's buildings, isn't it, Steph?
Yes, it's under general buildings.
Marty, does that change your motion at all? You still want to go with the full project?
Well, there's been drainage issues and ice issues back there for years. I think we get a chance to correct. Drainage is part of the problem. You better fix it, or it's gonna it may continue to be a problem.
Good. Thank you. April, you're second. You're okay with the full bid?
I'm okay with that. Yep, absolutely.
Council, any other discussion on that item?
Yeah, I just have one thing. Brian, can you just, are you sure you're okay with this? Us doing it this way?
The answer to the question is, I mean, the process is the best practice is 2 bids, and then you maintain them on file for 3 years. In this situation, I think there is some practical reality that the cost of materials hasn't gone down, and we have a company that's offering to honor a bid that was made before the price materials really went up. And I tend to agree. I don't think that we're going to get a better bid here. And as a practical matter, I'm okay with the process moving forward this way.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Counselor Halverson.
Aye.
Counselor Michelaraha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Mandy. We'll move on. Larry, Public Works, resolution number 0122-22, appoint Nikolai G. Toscano to the heavy equipment operator, truck driver, utility position. Larry?
Thanks, Mayor. We got through the hiring process, thankfully, to get to this point, and I'm happy to present to you Nico Toscano for your consideration for the new Public Works employee. Tentative start date with your approval of February 22nd. Recommended by the committee.
Council looking for a motion to adopt resolution 0122-22 to appoint Nikolai Toscano to heavy equipment operator, truck driver, utility.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Travis. Second.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Let me chime in first. I was on the committee. Everybody I walked in the door, I was just amazed that they were better than the next one. We literally had 6 people we interviewed, and I think I would have comfortably hired 5 of them. So we got a pool out there, that's for sure. And there were two standouts. They were really close at the end there. So yeah, this was a tough one. There were some really good candidates, which is good to see. Travis was on there with me as well, and Katie, if they want to chime in.
Yeah, I was part of that committee, and you're spot on. I also would have hired 5 out of the 6. I tried to use my kindness to get 2 of them hired, but that did not work for me. So it was a very, very difficult decision, and it still hurts me that we can't hire 2 of them. So, but we did hire the one who scored the best.
It's truly a pleasure to have the candidates we had and to come down to the wire like that and have such great candidates. It doesn't happen that often. So it was really good. Really good. It was hard, but it was like pleasing. So it was great. It's nice to see that these folks want to come to work for the city of Chisholm. So thank you.
I see our last person had her mic on you. Anything to add, Katie?
Oh, I just wanted to second everything you guys said. It was a pleasure being on the committee.
Good. All right, we have a motion and support to adopt our resolution and appoint Nick Toscano to that position. Any further discussion, council? Whoever's got their mic on with the TV in the background, please mute it. Margaret?
Counselor Halverson.
Aye.
Counselor Mikuláraha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Motion carries. Welcome aboard, Nick. Looking forward to getting you on. Thank you, Larry. Move on to Jim Johnson, professional engineering services proposal for JPJ Engineering for Fifth Street Southeast Infrastructure Replacement Project, Jim.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I think I've got it pretty well summarized on page 37 in the request for council action. This is a proposal from JPJ for our 2022 infrastructure replacement project on Fifth Street Southeast. And following that, in their proposal, they give a very detailed scope of services along with it. This is to prepare the feasibility study, the project plans and specifications, and to provide bidding services for that project as we move forward. As I said, it outlines in great detail the scope of services, the associated fees, which are on an hourly cost basis, not to exceed $32,250, and it also contains a schedule. I would be happy to answer any questions, but would recommend that the council approve the proposal from JPJ Engineering for that project. Thank you.
Council, Jim's looking for a motion to approve the professional services proposal from JPJ for the Fifth Street Southeast Infrastructure Project, which we outlined as one of our key repairs for next year.
I'll make the motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Marty. Second for that.
Or
thank you, Adam. Further discussion, council?
Mr. Mayor, I have just a couple questions for Jim.
Sure.
Go ahead, Marty.
Jim, was this the spot where you said there's actually two lift stations, one in service and one old abandoned one that's in really bad shape?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a piece of Fifth Street Southeast between Central Avenue and First Avenue Southeast, just immediately south of the Public Works Garage area.
Okay, and my other question is more of a question. Are we going to be using our GeoGrid sandwich in our Class 5 like we've been doing on our other new constructions?
Yes, because I think I forwarded you that report that was done through the Minnesota Department of Transportation that I actually served on the technical advisory committee, because now we actually get some credit for the strength added by that, what you know as granular equivalency. We can reduce a few inches of gravel by using this GeoGrid service as well, Marty. So we're finally getting a return on the investment rather than adding costs to that investment.
Well, there's a long-term payback by using it. It's just avoidance of future construction. So thank you, Jim. And yes, and I thought that report was a PDF, and I found out it was a link, and I just haven't gotten onto the link yet to read that. So thank you very much.
I've actually got an executive summary. I'll make a copy of it and give it to you. It goes into a lot of detail on the testing. It's the results and the recommendations that I was most interested in, and what's cost effective, because it saves us some common excavation, saves us a few inches of gravel by using it.
Yeah, thank you, Jimmy. that is a savings for construction, but the payback is in the long term. Less frequent reconstruction.
Yep.
Pavement. So thank you, Jim.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, council, any other questions? Okay, we do have a motion in support to, I believe, right, Margaret?
That's correct.
To approve that professional engineering service proposal. There's no other questions, Margaret?
Counselor Halverson.
Aye.
Counselor Michelaraha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that motion carries. Jim, the next step of that process, resolution 0122-23, order of preparation of feasibility report for Fifth Street Southeast Infrastructure Replacement Project.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, members of the council. In follow-up to your acceptance of that proposal, this is an assessment type project, and as such, we have to follow the Minnesota State Chapter statutes, Chapter 429. And a part of that is the preparation of a feasibility report. Hopefully that report will come back in about 4 to 6 weeks, after which we'll set a public hearing on that project to see, get input from the citizens, then budding and benefiting property owners. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, but this is part of that Chapter 429 process to order the preparation of the feasibility report. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Council looking for a motion to adopt resolution 0122-23.
I'll make that motion.
Travis, second for that.
Second, Marty.
Thank you, Marty. Further discussion, council? Margaret?
Counselor Halverson.
Aye.
Counselor Michelaraha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Motion carries. And council, last part of that, resolution number was 0122-24, order of preparation of plans and specs for that project. Jim, anything you want to add there?
No, it's just getting them going on the project by council was good, and ordered the acquisition of the survey data back in late November, early December, so we could get that information and data before the snow flew. So it's a lot more accurate and a lot more inclusive. We had actually obtained the soil boring several years ago when we did a number of our proposed capital improvement projects. We got soil borings for that project already. But the big thing here is, again, it's in accordance with Chapter 429 assessment process. It allows them to be working on those detailed plan bidding documents, if you will, while we're going through this feasibility study and public hearing process. The thing to know per that process is that we cannot approve the plans and specs until after we've held the public hearing. So we will be holding a public hearing first, and then following that public hearing, if everything is still a go, we will approve plans and specs and then authorize the bidding process. So with that, I would recommend adoption of this resolution and would be happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
I got lost again. Did we get a motion on that? I should be writing this down.
Not yet, Mar.
Council looking for a motion to adopt a resolution 0122-24 to order the plans and specs and get that started.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Adam. Second for that.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Further discussion, council? Margaret?
Counselor Halverson.
Aye.
Counselor Michelaraha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that motion carries. Thank you, Jim. We'll move on to Katie's items.
Thank you much.
Katie, resolution 0122-25, accept library donation, Chisholm Lunch Bunch. Good evening.
Just looking to adopt the resolution. This Chisholm Lunch Bunch has made quite a few donations in the last several years. So just a thank you for their continued support.
Council looking to adopt resolution 0122-25 to accept the $165 donation from the Chisholm Lunch Bunch with a
I'll make
special
that
thank you.
motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, April.
With
Second
a
for
thank
that.
you from Katie. Thank you.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Further discussion, Council? Margaret?
Counselor Halverson.
Aye.
Counselor Micula Raha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Resolution 0122-26, accept library donation from Daniel Swan for $100.
Same thing, just another thank you. I actually don't know this individual. I believe he's from the Twin Cities area, but grew up in Chisholm and just wanted to give back to the community he grew up in.
Great. Council looking for a motion to adopt that resolution.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, April. Second for that.
Support.
Thank you, Adam. Further discussion? Margaret?
Counselor Halverson.
Aye.
Counselor Micula Raha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you to both of those folks and groups. Moving on. Thank you, Katie. Have a good night. Eileen, Sterling Company 2021 audit engagement letter.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. I'm asking for your approval of the audit services agreement for fiscal year 2021 submitted by Sterling Company. And just from a historical perspective, the last agreement we had with Sterling Company was for 3 fiscal years, 2018, 19, and 2020. But because council has been presented with an audit engagement letter every year and has approved them, Sterling Company wanted to simplify things by doing an engagement letter for 1 year only. So that is what's being presented to you tonight.
Eileen, do we think we're going to try to do a 3-year thing at some point, or this is how they would like to do it moving forward?
Keep it simple, do it 1 year. Because we already had a 3-year contract in place, council was still approving them every year, even though they were already approved.
Oh, okay.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, April. Second for that.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Yeah, they do a great job for us, especially with their letter that kind of talks a little bit about concerns they have. So,
sure.
Council, anything else on that item? Margaret?
Counselor Halverson.
Aye.
Counselor Micula Raha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. And that motion carries. Thank you, Eileen.
Thank you.
Stephanie, resolution 0122-27 federal EDA grant for campground expansion. Good evening.
As you know, we're working on a federal EDA grant for the expansion of our campground, and the resolution here is to be submitted with that grant application. I'm looking for approval on the resolution.
Council administrators looking to adopt resolution 0122-27 to go out to that federal EDA grant for the campground expansion.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Adam. Second for that.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Further discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Marty, go ahead.
this came before us once before recently in the past year. What was that? And how is that different than what we have in front of us here?
Counselor Halverson, what we approved prior was for the engineering work for the grant. It wasn't the resolution.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Quick question for you, Mr. Mayor, is that right if I ask?
Yep, go ahead, April.
Okay. So do we have the $700,000 for matching funds?
Counselor Fountain, if we're awarded the federal EDA grant, I will go out for grants for matching funds on that.
Awesome. Thank you, Steph.
There may be some city contribution, but I would definitely subsidize with additional grants.
Counselor, anything else? Margaret?
Counselor Halverson.
Aye.
Counselor Michalaraha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Vaki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that motion carries. Independent contract agreement for Camp Host for 2022, which I'll turn this over to Stephanie, but I just want to tell you, I'm thrilled to see this one because that's how I envision this campground working with it, having a host up there. So, Steph?
Yes, and I will say we are also thrilled to see this coming through. John and Jackie Dahl actually had approached us for this, to be able to have this opportunity to be our camp host. They have experience in being a camp host. They've camped with us in the fall, so we're really excited to have them there. How it will work is they will be on site for the evenings and weekends when we don't have a staff person within the office to be able to accommodate guests that are coming through Chisholm through the campground. So this is a really great opportunity for us to be able to have a camp host. We were hoping to have one last year, but that didn't happen. So moving forward, we would like to approve this contract for this coming up summer.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Stephanie, for finding John and Jackie Dahl. Appreciate that.
Thank you, April. Second for April's motion, Council.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Further discussion? Margaret?
Counselor Halverson.
Aye.
Counselor Michalaraha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Vaki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. And that motion carries. Thank you, Stephanie. Next item I have is the item from April, request meeting with council for discussion on hiring a consulting firm for fire EMS employees. She sent out quite a bit of information. I didn't, to be honest with you, I didn't get a chance to look at any of it, but we certainly can start the discussion. April?
All right. Well, there's probably like 4 pages there plus another things, and Stephanie is well aware of everything. So I was wondering if we can do a what would you call it, Mr. Mayor? A special meeting or a working session, something where we all can get together, and also with department heads as well, and possibly if we had questions, we could get Dr. Tim McGrath on the phone with us as well.
I think it would, if you wanted to, if the council was in agreement to do it, it would be considered probably a working session. We'd want to approve anything at a regular meeting. So it would be more to discuss it, I think. So what's your idea behind this, April? Like I said, I didn't get a lot of chance to look at it. I just kind of scanned through a few items, and I mean, do you have some concerns about what would be bringing a consultant in for?
Did you get a chance to read the first page, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, this McGrath Consulting Group specializes in consulting services with government, department overviews, operation, labor laws, personnel management, human resources, policies and procedures, members' pays, overtime, FLSA relief, recruitment and retention, labor contracts, The list goes on, and they specify their specific expertise is in fire, EMS, and police. And so I feel we owe the citizens and our employees, because we're currently working on a brand new public safety building, and we owe it to our city and employees to make sure that we have all the proper tools to provide the best service on the Iron Range. And that includes all of our safety services.
So let me ask the question again. Do you feel we have an issue? Or let me answer part of that for you, because that's a really broad question. Normally, if I was going to bring in a consultant to do something like this, it would be because I've addressed some concerns that I think we need to look at, and maybe we can't figure it out on our own. I think that would be fair, my thinking. Consultants as a whole, I believe, the reason a consultant's job is to make sure they consult forever. And my concern is bringing somebody in to try to point out concerns we have when I don't actually have very few right now. When I look at my police chief, I gotta believe 3/4 of his job is making sure we're doing what's correct in conjunction with our city attorney, and we're following policies and procedures as outlined in this country for the most part. I gotta believe our fire department, our chief of Chris, I would have to believe 3/4 of his job is also making sure we're covering all our bases so we don't have concerns. And our new ambulance director, I'm floored by the job she has done with what a hill she had in front of her and to put that ambulance service together. My concern, April, my biggest concern is to bring somebody in to do this. I feel like my staff would think I don't believe in them. That would be my concern.
I believe in all the staff. They are very good people. All of the supervisors are great people to work with. But and I know that laws change constantly. And we need to be up to date on our laws and our policies to help the staff conduct their staff to do the right thing. And I didn't want to go on and on with this tonight. I just wanted to schedule a meeting so then we can all talk about it at a meeting.
All right. Council, April's looking for a motion to hold a working session to discuss this further. April, of course, you're allowed to make a motion too.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, April. Is there a second for April's motion? Second call for a second for April's motion. Final call for a second for April's motion.
Mr. Mayor, could I ask a question to April?
Absolutely.
Okay. April, I guess in order for me to potentially second your motion here, do you feel that you do have a legitimate concern that needs to be addressed by the council?
Yes, I do. And it's all in your paperwork that Margaret sent, but it was a lot of information for you guys all to read in one day, and I did not want you to have to read it before this council meeting. So that's all I was requesting, was a day for all of us to meet, to talk after you have read the 500 pages of information. More like 150, but I'll just exaggerate a little bit.
You give us a brief, what are your concerns? We have a 27-day-old ambulance service. We have a fire department that's run with paid on-call personnel that does an outstanding job for response time. And we have a small local police department. What are you looking at? I read through there, but I didn't see any concerns. I saw some studies that were showing McGrath how they work with collaboration, or not even collaboration, it was a consolidation effort between two communities. But what are you looking to accomplish? What are you looking for?
Adam, I don't think you want me to speak on that on here right now. So either you're for a meeting, which I can request one, but you guys can deny it, but then it's on your heads if we're not in compliance with our laws and our regulations. That's what the city of Chisholm people have elected all of us to do, was to serve and protect and make sure we're doing the right thing.
What laws do you think we're breaking?
That is why we need to have a meeting.
Council, we're looking for a third and final second for April's motion.
Councillor Fountain, I'm going to give you a second just so you get a vote on this, but I don't think your vote's going to go in your favor, but I'll give you a second.
Thank you. Travis? Council, any other discussion on this item?
Mr. Mayor, this is way too much information to be handed to us at the last hour and to be brought up without any legitimate concerns other than a person's opinion. Maybe they're accurate, maybe they're not, but it's hard enough to read it when we get it in the agenda packet, let alone the day of. I mean, I got this a couple hours ago. I have no idea what this is about. And Councillor Fountain is not willing to share with us what the concerns are. So I don't know. I agree with you and Councillor Lanz. I don't see problems in the city. I think our departments are running fine. We have an HR consultant that helps Stephanie. Then with these issues, we have an attorney, we have police chiefs and fire chiefs and ambulance chiefs, and their job is to comply. And consultants are expensive. I don't know how much is this study going to cost us? Thank you.
I'd like to chime in once more. Councillor Fountain, is if this is something that you're reading into because of social media, and you think it's inappropriate that myself as a city councillor am also a volunteer paid on call firefighter or a paid on call EMT, please say that and let's address our attorneys on the line here. But the way you verbalized to me that you don't want to bring it up would make me think that this is regarding myself. So if it is, let's talk about it. But our attorney has already told us numerous times that we're following every guideline. I'm not a city employee. I'm an elected official. Now, if this is still something that you're bringing up for a certain employee that hasn't had things work out in their favor, well, we need to talk about that too.
Council, anything further?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Cheyenne.
It's my understanding that Councillor Fountain is looking for a working session to discuss this. There's been a motion and a second, but there's been no date or time to schedule that meeting. Unless I'm misunderstanding.
No, that's a good one. Yeah, good point. April, if your motion passes, do you have a date in mind? Keep in mind, I will be gone February, we got time. February 14th for 10 days.
Whatever works for everybody else, I'm okay with.
Mr. Mayor, I guess the reason I seconded it without a date in mind is because if it passes, then I guess the next step would be to look at dates.
All right, fine. Let's take a vote on if we're going to hold a meeting. If we do, we'll come up with a date and we'll have another motion. Margaret?
Counselor Halverson,
No.
Counselor Michelaraha,
No.
Counselor Fountain,
Aye.
Counselor Lance,
No.
Counselor Vaki,
No.
Mayor Champa.
No. Okay.
You all will be held accountable. Just to let you all know, the citizens will hold you accountable, and the city attorney will have to hold us all accountable if we're not following laws.
Councilor Fong, all aware of that.
Yes, that was very inappropriate, April. All right, we'll move on. Slide to city. Travis is looking for a motion to declare a citywide festival to hold that event. Travis?
Yep. Yeah, you're correct. Just like we have the past 2 years we've done this, we've considered it a community festival. I didn't mention earlier, but we do block off from the police station down on 3rd Avenue and then 1 block toward the Tom and Jerry's parking lot. And then I believe 1 block further down 3rd Avenue to 2nd Street. Larry, if I'm wrong on that, let me know. But just like previous, we just got to it a little bit late here. So just looking for a motion to make it a community festival.
Council looking for a motion to declare a citywide festival for Sled to City on Saturday, February 12th, 2022.
I'll make that motion, sorry.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Second for that.
Support, Marty.
Thank you, Marty. Further discussion, Council?
Mr. Mayor, do we have to do anything to close that street?
No. Chief of police can kind of, anything that's not the main street, the chief can make that decision.
Awesome.
Vern, that's
Thank
correct, right? Vern?
I believe you're correct, Mayor.
You're correct, sir.
All right, thank you. Good question, Cheyenne. Yeah, just the main street is where we have our issues, so. Okay, we have motion support, Council, further discussion. Margaret?
Counselor Halverson,
Aye.
Counselor Michelaraha,
Aye.
Counselor Fountain,
Aye.
Counselor Lance,
Aye.
Counselor Vaki,
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. The motion carries. All right, thank you, Travis. All right, moving on. We got a bunch of letters people are hoping we'll give them some support on. First one, letter support for the Pat Laser Snowmobile Club for a federal equipment grant. Looking to allow me to sign the letter on our behalf and send it off to be included with their grant for that piece of equipment, Council.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Adam. Second for that.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Discussion. Great group that we have. There was nice to see they're doing snowmobile training and stuff down there. The only question I had when I read the letter earlier, I wondered if there should be a little the in between the and Chisholm City Council. I didn't know if it belonged there or not. But if it belongs there, we'll put it in. I don't know if it sounded right or not. So we do have motion support to send that letter off to Path Blazers to include with their federal grant. Further discussion. Margaret?
Counselor Halverson,
Aye.
Counselor Michelaraha,
Aye.
Counselor Fountain,
Aye.
Counselor Lance,
Aye.
Counselor Vaki,
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. The motion carries. All right, the next one, Discovery Center. Minnesota Discovery Center is looking to put in a very sizable tourism grant. looking for our support, letter of support from us. A lot of needed repairs kind of towards the bottom. You see a lot, it has a lot to do with ADA compliance and things, primarily on the other side of the mine pit in their depot over there in their, what do they call it, the Musaba Junction over there, and well-used area over there. So looking for a motion to let them include this letter with their grant application.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Travis. Second for that.
Support, Marty.
Thank you, Marty. Further discussion, council?
One question, Mr. Mayor, on the letter.
Yes.
The address is, I don't know, somebody should look into that. It seems confusing. Unless there is a Illinois, Minnesota somewhere. And there's no, I don't know, isn't this going to Washington, D.C. or something? Instead of Illinois, Minnesota. I don't know what's going on. I might want to check that address.
I like it.
We're signing it, so proofread it.
If it doesn't get there, don't help either, eh?
Yeah, I don't think we'll get the grant if you mail it to that address.
We'll make sure everything's correct there, Marty. Further discussion? That's good. Margaret?
Counselor Helverson.
Aye.
Counselor Michelaraha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Vaki.
Aye.
Mayor Chapman.
Aye. Yeah, that motion carries. Counselor, next item, a request from the St. Louis County Fair for a request to reduce or eliminate building permit fees. I did send out a small report to the council, my thoughts on it earlier today. If there was ever a time you were going to do this, I think they kind of hit all the bases. It's just some of the items I noted here. Obviously, they're a nonprofit. Kind of an extension of the county where, for the most part, as the letter states, most of their money comes through grants and stuff because they are kind of a government extension. Their main reason for being up there, obviously, is, they bring a lot of people to Chisholm. But I think the biggest one, and the one I think we can all agree on that is probably the most important is, that society, the St. Louis County Agricultural Society, it's kind of centered around kids, with the 4-H, the fair, doing horse shows up there and things like that. So I think any support we can give for them is, I think it's a good thing. We do have some real expenses that go into this with Mandy's time and having to review plans and specs. So I would entertain a motion for anything. But I think that, as a good faith effort, I think this is if there was ever a time you would do this, I think they hit the basis. So my recommendation would be to waive the fees. But like I said, we will have some real expense up there with Mandy. So thoughts from the council? If not,
I don't have a problem with reducing the fee by any means. I know they do great things. I was lucky to be able to be at one of their meetings where they talked about everything that they do and what they're what they want to do, which I think is going to do really well, especially that indoor horse that thing that they want to do, which I think is going to be very attractive for Chisholm. So I have no issues with this.
Travis, thoughts on just reducing it, eliminating it?
I have no problem with eliminating it. I mean, otherwise, what's the point in doing it for $1? We might as well just eliminate it.
Would you make that motion?
Sure. I'll make that motion then to eliminate the fee for the St. Louis County Agricultural Society for their application for permit.
Is there a second for that, council?
I'll support that.
Thank you, Adam. Further discussion, council? Margaret?
Counselor Halverson.
Aye.
Counselor Michelaraha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Vaki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that motion carries. Thank you, council. Application from Brittany Hagston for library board, kind of got a late notice and late, have 2 and 3 year terms, and look for a motion to appoint Brittany for a 2-year term on the library board.
Make that motion.
Thank you, Adam.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Further discussion? So we do still have some positions on the library board. I believe we have some on the rec board. We have some on the planning commission. There's no further discussion, Margaret?
Counselor Halverson.
Aye.
Counselor Michelaraha.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Vaki.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. That motion carries. Council, this last item at the 11.5 hour, I start thinking about Mr. Baumgart. I know he owns Independent Electric and he's a businessman in our community. But I believe Mr. Baumgart lives in Balkan. I reached out to the attorney, asked him the question. Brian, did you find anything one way or the other on this at all since I sent you a message and asked you if he could even be appointed to this board? Being a non-resident?
Thank you, Mayor. I haven't got a definitive answer yet. If there's any way we could take it up again at the next meeting, I will have a definitive answer within a day or two here.
All right, council, unless there's opposition to it, we're in no hurry to do this. We'll try to get you some feedback on if we could even do this, and just forego any decision on this tonight and just move it to old business next meeting.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Adam.
Brian, would this be something that the planning commission should look at revising their bylaws? If they were to want to allow, because obviously Chisholm is right here, we collaborate with Balkan quite a bit. Even Side Lake and French. Is that something that we should be looking at, maybe expanding our boundaries if someone either owns a business inside our community, but also resides within our fire department kind of comes in, but I think of coverage area, so is that something that we could do?
And Mr. Mayor, if I may, Councilor Lance, I think it's a good suggestion to look at it. I know this has been a topic that's been discussed among the City Attorney Association for quite some time about the application of geographic restrictions for boards and committees. And I want to take a closer look at more recent developments because this has been a topic that has been constantly evolving. And so I want to make sure I get a good look at it. But it's definitely something that the boards and committees should look at.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Travis.
Brian, you should call Shannon Roach because the EDA did allow for Balkan residents to be on that board. And I know for sure of one board member when I first got on that board who lived in Balkan. So I don't know if you should look at the language of the EDA or just reach out to Shannon because she would be the one who would know the why he was allowed to do that.
Right. And Mr. Mayor, if I may, just one final comment. The bigger issue isn't whether we can allow folks, it's whether the prohibitions even stand. As the case law and as this area has developed, the primary area where geographic boundaries have been upheld most often is in emergency response and police work, and just making sure that we have response times to the stations or to scenes quick enough. But outside of those emergency response situations, the law tends to disfavor geographic boundary limitations on boards and committees, especially from adjoining communities. And so I want to take one final look at that.
Brian, does our charter play into it at all? I haven't looked at that section of a charter in a while, but I do. Yeah, I know, and going with kind of spinning off of Councillor Vaki's question, I do know that our boards are all a little bit different, and an EDA is really different. It's kind of got its own legislation making up EDAs. They're different. So.
Yep, and there may be, I don't recall a specific charter provision, but I wouldn't have gone looking for it in the recent past either. So I will review that as well. But yeah, each board and commission in a lot of communities tend to be a little bit different. And if we can bring some uniformity to those, that may be helpful for just the situation of making appointments.
So council, we'll forego this for tonight. We'll bring it back at the next meeting if we have, or we'll bring back what develops out of the attorney's research. If for some reason we can't appoint him, he would make a great candidate, obviously a contractor. So he's involved with planning stuff all the time. So great candidate, but like I said, we got to make sure we can legally do it. So council, if there's nothing else tonight, I would look for a motion to adjourn the regular meeting in probably record time.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Adam. Further discussion, council? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any nays? All right, this meeting is adjourned. Everybody have a great night. We'll talk soon.
Good night, everybody.